Okay, so first things first, big mazel tov, the Axelrod B'shpucha. My son Moshe Axelrod had a baby girl, so first granddaughter in our little clan. Uh, no name yet. So for the next few days, Sufgania, I think will be her name, or Latka. You know, Latka obviously is a male name from Taxi, but be that as it may, big mazel tov, father, mother, baby are doing well in Yerushalayim, and Saba's okay. Saba's okay. Baruch Hashem, doing great. Baruch Hashem. So Parshas Miketz, Shabbos, Hanukkah. So pretty big situation going on here. And Meor vshemesh does not disappoint with something that's kind of big chiddush. Hopefully, again, no hate mail, no hate emails. Hopefully, none of that again next week. But real big situation because we know that this parsha starts off with the dream of Paro. We know the end of Vayeshev. Yosef's asking for help, but still the Medrash says, Asher Gever, Asher Sam Hashem Nitacho, Ze Yosef. Praise the one who puts his trust in Hashem. I trust in Hashem. Whatever I do, Hashem's got me. That's my trust. Not my boss, not the Mets, in Hashem. Hashem's gonna decide. I adopt Hashem. Hashem will take care of me. Ze Yosef. And everyone goes bananas over this because it's one of the famous questions, and every kid comes home from yeshiva has this question and different answers because if anything, that's not Yosef. You know, there's people that really trust in Hashem. Avram jumps into the fire. People really go against David against Goliath. People really go, have trust. Um, Yosef, if anything, is okay. Yes, he believes in Hashem at some level, but he really asks for help for the Sarmashkim. He does. It's in the Torah. It's not a fancy medrash. So how is this Yosef? How is this really a Yosef trait if we see him really asking for help? So Meor vshemesh, again, doesn't disappoint, where he kind of turns a lot of the narrative around and says what he's asking for when he says Itcha, Sechar, Sechartani, when he says when it's remembered you should remember the Paro. He's not saying Paro should remember. It's the Master Hamashkim. He's trying to really show his emuna in his dialogue with the Sar Hamashkim. Because, as Meor vshemesh says, our job in the world is to make the name of Hashem public in the world. Ye Hashem echad shmo echad. That's our job in the world, literally, to bring Mashiach. Is everyone should recognize Hashem, and Hashem's Shekhinah, Hashem's presence is not open in this world, and that's our job in this world, is to be Mamul Hashem, and people should get the picture. People should all worship Hashem. That's our job in the world. And Yosef really could have told the Sar Hamashkim, listen, tell all your friends, tell all your people, you're getting out tomorrow. You're going to be freed. The other guy is dead. Let's not talk to that guy. But you're going to go out free. Tell your friends tomorrow. Just tell everybody. Get me out of jail. But he doesn't do this because a job of a tzaddik, the job of a navi, the job of someone is to understand what his purpose in the world is and how he can get the biggest quote unquote bang for the buck. If Yosef would have told Sarmashkin, get me out tomorrow, maybe would have told Paro, maybe would have been free, then Yosef would have been out of jail and Shalom Yisrael, he'd be performing at parties and bar mitzvahs and things like that, with dreams and things like that. But Yosef understands he has nevuah from Hashem. He has these dreams when he was much younger. He was able to interpret dreams from the Sar Hamashkim, Sar Open. He knows his job in this world is really be Mamlech Hashem. And just get out of prison because the Sar Hamashkim told him to get out, he could do all these fancy tricks. That's really not what Hashem put him in the world for. And he therefore puts his trust in Hashem. He tells the Sar Hamashkim, remember me down the road. Remember me, his Hartani, meaning you're going to forget about me. At some point, remember me for something big. El Paro. When Paro comes to you, remember me then. Don't remember me tomorrow or the next day or the next week. Remember me at some point down the road when Paro needs my help. That's when I'm going to make my presence and Hashem in the world. And it's the first thing Yosef does when he sees Paro is, it's not me, it's Hashem. And that's the huge, big kiddush Hashem. And it's not a 2-year thing. Yosef doesn't know. When Yosef says Zachar Sekhartani, it turns out to be 2 years. It could have been 10 years. It could have been 30 years. It could have been 100 years. Yosef has no idea how long it's going to be. But Yosef doesn't care. Yosef says, whenever that's going to happen, it'll come. I trust in Hashem. That's what I want to be Ma'amul Hashem. That's the stage to be really show Hashem's presence in the world. And that's what happens. We see this many times in our own lives. We can cut corners with job interviews. Um, we lie sometimes. And this is it shows lack of Hashem. Going to a business interview or crashing other people to get what you want. It's not just lying. Yeah, you shouldn't lie. I get that. It's a lack of trust in Hashem. I can't get to my tachlis without cheating. Hashem, you know what? It's December. I'm still owed more money. It's almost January. I have to cut corners to get to this. You didn't provide for me. I think I deserve more, or what I deserve is not coming to me, and it's a lack of Hashem. And Yosef doesn't want any of that. Yosef shows his trust in Hashem. Yes, I'll sit in jail until I know it's going to be a huge, big deal to Mamul Hashem, and that's when Hashem's going to let me out. Then you'll remember me to Paro. That's what Meor vshemesh says. This huge jump of faith that Yosef has, where a day, a week, a month, it could be any time. Yosef's going to sit in jail until that moment where I can really show Hashem in the world. And that's kachaya, that's what takes place. And that's why he places trust in Hashem, Zay Yosef. This kind of really um, plays or has a huge kesher with Hanukkah. Hanukkah is very unique mitzvah. First of all, it's the last one in the Torah because after Hanukkah, there's no more mitzvah d'Rabbanan. This is the last Chag. It's added, the last mitzvah. It's added, and it's also a time when the people are very low. It's only a handful of people that stand up against Yevanim. This is only Matisyahu, his sons, very few people. The people are almost resolved to giving up. They're not being killed, not a Haman situation. So, okay, Shabbos, no bris milah, no chodesh, not that big a deal. And you're really creating this break, minutak from Hashem. And that's really what the Greeks wanted. The Greeks wanted this breakage of a kesher with wisdom, chachma, and Hashem. Yes, we believe in chachma, we believe in smart, we believe in philosophy, but it stops there. After creation, that's it. Man is man, God is God. Man has his own fate. Man has his own nature, and that's that. We know that's not the case. We know that's really a huge deal. And if you learn Torah without Lishma, you learn Torah just for the Chachma part of it. That's not the same thing. You're missing 90% of it, 99% of it. It's really understanding that the Chachma and the Torah is literally from Hashem. That's what Hashem wants, and there's this connection. And without that, we have nothing. And this is a huge connection with the Chag and the Parsha because it's this huge amuna that lets them win, that gets them to win the battle, that has them understand to look for the shemen, not give up, look for the shemen, look for the behira, look for the clarity in the Chag, look for the clarity in Hashem and Amunah, and through that we'll survive and we'll win, even in dark times with the Hashachah, the darkness. And that's kind of the reference that the Yavin wanted to darken the eyes of Jewish people. And this is why Nesivos Shalom talks about why Chodesh is something that's part of these mitzvos that Yavanim wanted to get rid of. Shabbos, you get that? Oh yeah, Shabbos, that's big. Osi Olam, yeah. Bris, that's an os. Chodesh, Jews getting worked up over Rosh Chodesh. That's a big deal. No, the big deal is this is a big deal. A Jew should never be in darkness. We're never in darkness. Even at the lowest levels, we're always in the light of Hashem, which is why Shalom says Shabbos candles is here and Hanukkah candles is within 10 tefachim of the ground to show that even in a low matzav, even a low situation, there's always a munah. And which is why in the Hasidic circles, Shalom brings down also that this is considered the end of the Gemar Din. There's always the Gemar Din. And really, this is the last time that Hashem listens to our Rachman and seals the din for us, because this is even the lowest people. Even the people that can't connect to a Shabbos on a high level, you can always connect to Hanukkah, which is why we see that Hanukkah is really the most celebrated Chag out of all the Chagim. Doesn't matter where you are. Most Jews in the world, or Israel, always connect to Hanukkah candles. And this is kind of the lesson that we have from this parsha, is to place your trust in Hashem. And even when you're Yoseph in jail, and you can just get out of jail by just being nice, saying the right word to the right people, you have trust in Hashem. And so too here, getting up at 3:30 in the morning with the alarms last night, or 4:30 the night before. We still get up in the morning. We're going to daven. We're going to thank Hashem for what we have. Thank Hashem for the new additions to the family. Thank Hashem for what we have at Yisrael, and we have our lives. And with that, Shabbat Shalom.